Greetings, it's your buddy, your pal, your friend, your teacher, your guide, AVW. Excuse me. And this is the MACK Manual Podcast Recording Audio Experience. Um, Before we get into the particulars, details, I want to I normally don't do this. I'm pretty bad about this, but I want to invite you to like, share, subscribe. Please do all that, all those particulars. Just do that. It really helps. I don't ask for much. I just share and give game. And I give my consultations where someone needs it. And I never try to break anybody's bank. I work with all types of budgets because I've been blessed and I've been fortunate, and I want to bless others and just pay it forward because I've been blessed to experience so many different things and endure so many things. It's not easy. The journey hasn't been easy. Been a lot of rough and a lot of rough terrains that you got to traverse. If you want to experience life and life in abundance, life in full, you can stay in a safe place, and even then, life is still gonna hit you somehow, and whatever your ideas of a safe place. And but me, I've always been someone who's been a bit of adventurous, a bit of a risk taker, and one who is a seeker. And inherent in that, you find yourself experiencing a lot of ups and downs. But I want to talk about for a young man. What are the best jobs for a young man to basically, for lack of a better term, pick up chicks? What puts you in the best circumstances to pick up chicks as far as your occupation? Let's talk about it real quick. The best jobs for a young man, in a traditional sense, a young man is really anybody who's 40 years, around 40 years and younger. That's, in a traditional sense, that is the true definition of a young man. If you define yourself as young, you're young. That's all I can say on that. But typically, we would think of a young man usually in their late teens and early 20s, even the mid 20s, right? That's a young man. Society usually kind of thrusts you into the category of a man, really a man, an adult, when you're after over 25. That's usually like the threshold. But either way, as a young man, it is a preoccupation for the pursuit of women, understandably. And my job is to teach you how to make that as advantageous to you, for you, as possible. How to put yourself in the best situations. And the question that came to me, well, just the conversation with one of my young mentees about just occupations, and he was considering making an occupational change, and I told him that would be the benefits of, if he had, well, he asked me if I'd ever worked in that capacity, and I have. I've had so many different jobs, so many different roles I've played, so many different lives I've lived. I've said that before, and in this particular occupation, I've done that before, and it was fun. I encouraged him to go for it. In addition to just making money, so I won't be long with it. Y'all know I can just talk and talk in circles, but I'm gonna just list. I'm just go down the list and talk about occupations that that a young man can find himself in the favorable company of women. And I'm just kind of going freestyle off this real quick. Number one no particular order. I'm just gonna list them. Number one would be a valet. A valet. Um, a valet, and ideally a valet at a 4 or 5 star hotel, and ideally an overnight valet. Even better is an overnight valet. You'd be surprised. I worked as a young man. I worked as an overnight valet in several occasions, and it allows you to engage in, if you're an enterprising person, the amount of time that you have to yourself, and then the interactions that you do have, that it allows you to be as creative and enterprising as you want to be. And I won't get into details on that, but at that time I was involved in several different. Well, I'm always involved in several different hustles, so to speak. And so at that particular time, being able, it made my hustle that much better being a valet, because again, it's at a hotel, so you're interacting with people from all over, people who are in need of a lot of different services because they're coming from, usually from out of town, or they're not in their home environment usually, and so they are in need of services. So that put me at an advantage because I'm able to use my people skills, my interpersonal skills, and so I was able to go above and beyond my duty, my role as a valet, and provide many different services to patrons of the hotel. And I'll let you use your imagination as to what some of those services were. I provided goods and services to some of the patrons, and it made my game that much sharper, that much stronger. And it was very lucrative for me. Not to mention just the task of the job itself, being a valet. It was, it's fun driving nice luxury cars, getting tips. You might, in an average night as an overnight valet, you might get, I don't know, you might move, you might move 10 to 15 cars, 10, 15, 20 cars, which is not a lot. You may, interact. You're not as busy as, of course, as you were during the day, so it's not as taxing on you. You can spend hours. If you're working an 8-hour shift, you can spend hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, with absolutely no type of action as far as moving cars. But then you may get, the foot traffic that comes, and you're that first line of customer service at the hotel usually. Along, you might have a door person. Usually you don't, these particular 2 hotels I'm thinking of that I worked at, we didn't have a door person. I was basically the door person as the valet. And so you have the opportunity to interact with people. People are going to ask you for services, ask you for things. And if you are savvy, and if you got the action, you got the action, and you can take advantage of that. And not to mention, the subject at hand, the women that come by. And if you're a young man and you got your catch hand up to par as far as your body looking well, it's a physical job, so usually if the weather permits, you can wear shorts, and the shirt can be just a regular polo shirt, and I'm of the proponent of wearing clothes that fit, being in shape, and being presentable. You are automatically in the purview of females, and you can use that to your advantage. So I won't go into no more detail about that. Maybe I'll tell some valet stories at a different time, because it was an adventure that my time working valet at a few different luxury 4 and 5 star hotels. It was very fun for a young man. Opportunity to earn cash daily, because people give you tips. Opportunity to meet women, opportunity to interact in an enterprising way. Another job is kind of similar, is a courier or a delivery person. Now you have the Amazon vans everywhere. Um, I worked for a more local regional courier for a number of years, and that gave me the opportunity to again interact with women. Admittedly, I am in better shape than probably the average man. So you coming in and you're lifting boxes and bringing them into the office, you are automatically at an advantage of being um, someone's eye candy. I got to experience being looked at like a piece of meat, so to speak, in different offices that I would go into. It's just some women have actual fantasies about the delivery guy. You've seen in entertainment and art, the depiction of the so-called, the sexy delivery guy, and for humbly speaking, I played that role for a number of years, for a time, and yeah, man, I took advantage of that. I was able to meet women in that capacity. So if you are someone who is confident in how you look, if you're a young man who's in shape and who's pretty good looking, it will put your best assets on display. You're It's showing that you are hardworking, you're gainfully employed. It puts you at the advantage of, there's certain places, like if you have a route, certain places that you're going to go pretty much on a regular basis, on a daily basis or a regular basis, and the frequency of seeing maybe a secretary or someone in a certain office, a certain setting, that frequency is going to multiply your chances of attraction between you and a potential female prospect. And so yeah, being a courier, being a delivery person is a very, very good job for young men to pick up chicks. Call centers, working in call centers. I worked in call centers. Again, this is all from experience, firsthand or very close secondhand experience. And I worked in a call center as a very, very young man, probably one of my first jobs. And anybody who's ever worked in a call centers just for some reason inherently have very high school type vibe to it in a lot of ways. That's the best way I could describe it. It's just it's an environment that kind of mimics high school as far as cliques, as far as gossip, as far as debauchery, and as far as seems to be, I don't know, something about call centers that attract uninhibited women. Again, and then it has to do with frequency. There usually call centers are wide open spaces, and so there's an energy that circulates, that is conducive to mating, is conducive to bring about just this energy of this primal energy for some reason. You'll notice if you've ever worked in a call center, you'll notice that there's usually the there's usually a group, or there's just this culture that is cultivated in call centers where a lot of a lot of your coworkers, employees, they're gonna go out together, after work. They're gonna go to the club and things like that, and it's just a breeding ground for that type of primal energy. Usually, call centers are gonna attract younger people because it's call centers allow young people an entry level job, an opportunity to work in a professional setting without college experience or without college degrees or without experience, and can, gives you better earning potential than working at a fast food restaurant. Usually call centers, you have incentives to earn bonuses, sales, and things like that. And so it attracts a certain type of crowd, a younger crowd. Usually, a younger crowd. It's going to be a mix of young, mostly young, but then quite a bit of older people. That maybe on their second career, or maybe had some missteps and had to kind of start over. And getting into a call center is kind of usually it's kind of easy to get into call centers if you are demonstrate some type of stable work history. You can usually find a call center job. There's usually they come in waves where they do these hiring phases, and they usually pay decent. And then again, like I say, you have opportunities for bonuses and incentives, and so and then they have a culture of promotions a lot of times. So me myself, I was a trainer. I actually worked myself up to be a trainer for a little while in the call center before they made some changes. Now the thing about call centers is that they are subject to make these massive sweeping changes with very little to no notice. You know, so that can help. That can happen. But anyway, I had the most prolific time as far as in a work setting. Never have I ever experienced more action than in a job setting than I did when I worked at a call center. Yeah, I racked up I racked up a substantial body count, humbly speaking. When I worked at call centers, I worked at a few different call centers. It wasn't. I worked at a few different call centers. Some I worked at like for like a couple of months. Some I worked for a couple. Like I don't think I worked more than 2 years at any call center. But every one I went to, every last one I went to, I took something down. I knocked something down, at least. But yeah, call center, any type of like office environment, it gives you the opportunity to kind of dress up a little bit. Yeah, it's a good job. It's a good job I recommend to a young man if you don't have any direction, or if you just need some type of income. It's a good job for a young man. Usually above average pay, like I said, and opportunity for promotion, and opportunity to be in the company of a large ratio of women, young college women. A lot of times, yeah, man. If you're a young man, work in a call center. If you haven't experienced a call center, I guarantee you won't see any more action than you will see in a work setting in a call center. Another one for a job for a young man. This one is kind of obvious. It's is a server or a bartender, and I would suggest that you go for. If you're going to be a server, I suggest you go for the highest grade restaurant that you can go for. That will put you in a position to be picked up by chicks, and usually your coworkers. Usually, you have an opportunity for your coworkers to be kind of like a call center. For your coworkers to be prospects. They say don't shit where you eat or eat where you shit. But if you're a Mac, a man of aptitude, charm, and knowledge, not no one job defines you, and you use a job as a tool, just as a stepping stone to the next, which is what I've always done. I've always been entrepreneur, and I've always been a hustler, but I've always had jobs because it's an advantage to have to pay taxes through W-2 in so many ways. No matter what you're doing, if you're doing things on the fringes, if you're in the black markets, either way, it's still very beneficial. Even if it's part time, it's very beneficial for whatever you're doing to keep you some type of W-2 job. And if we have consultations, we can dive deeper into that, into the benefits of no matter what you're doing, even if you're on your own business. Just have some type of W-2 income to report to to keep certain things in place. Keep certain things away and keep certain things in place. And I won't dive in too much into that. But yeah, being a server will help you have that visibility, especially if if you're good looking. It'll help you have that visibility. You're showing that you're gainfully employed. You can kind of practice your social skills, enhance those, and make money, make good tips. And a lot of times, high-end restaurants are whether they'll admit it or not, they have a standard as far as who they hire, looks wise, aesthetically. And so you're going to be automatically in the company of usually very attractive female servers or female bartenders. And so that's just, it puts you in a good position. It puts you at an advantage. You're a bar, especially a bartender. If you're a bartender at a high-end club, or really a bartender, as a bartender, you can get away with being at different places, because there's plenty. It doesn't have to be high-end per se, but different places. If you're the bartender, that gives you a certain type of authority. It's like an inherent authority, inherent visibility, to where females they have to come up to you to ask you for their order. And while there are some people, there are some people who look at you as a servant, there is still an air of I need you. And so that just that energy gives you a bit of authority and gives you a bit of cachet to pick up some chicks, to use that to your advantage. You're gonna the frequency of who you see, of the traffic, that puts you at an advantage. And then you have your regular patrons that will show up to the bar, and that frequency will put you at an advantage. It's one thing to see a female and cold approach her, but it's another thing if you see a female on a regular basis, that you can build some type of attraction and build that energy. And so that helps. And then of course, any job, if you have a few more skills, specialized skills, being a photographer, these are more like not necessarily jobs. So they can be jobs, but these are more like career types, or more hustles, or again, these are specialized skills. So if you have the specialized skills of being some type of technician, like an HVAC technician, you see the caricatures or the depiction and entertainment of the serviceman or the plumber, or whatever that's able to smash the housewife, or the lady of the house, or whatever the case may be. That's a very real thing. That is very well puts you at an advantage. And then just having that specialized skill is attractive to women. Blue collar men are have their lane, very much so. And it's not as celebrated, and it's not as championed and talked about. But there are plenty of blue collar men that are among us, that go about their day on a regular basis, and they are getting it done. They're getting that action. A lot of them, blue collar Blue collar guys kind of can fly under the radar sometimes. They might not be as visible because they're working. They are actually working, and so they might not be able to be as visible on social media and stuff like that. But they are getting it done. They're getting in action. So any type of specialized skill, HVAC, if you're a photographer, videographer, if you are a plumber, electrician, a firefighter. Oh yeah, firefighters. What? I know some firefighters here that are some cockhound dogs, and they get it. They get all the action. Police officers, yeah, but not like firefighters. Dog, firefighters. If you a firefighter, you have to be in shape. That's more of a specialized skill, it's a career, and it's not easy to just get on with the fire department. But if you get on with the fire department, well, you are set, bro. You gonna make some money, and you gonna get some action, bro. Like women gonna throw themselves at you, firefighter. And then far be it for me to say it, man. Any type of position of power, authority, if you get on some type of board, if you're a clergyman, a preacher or something like that, if you're in a church setting, and I'm a church baby. I don't go to church anymore, but I was raised in a church, so I know all about church culture. And I know some guys that go to church just for the reason taking advantage of women, because the ratio of women that's in churches is far outweighs the number of men in church. So the ratio is in favor of men as far as the number of women. There are plenty of men that take advantage of that. They're able to go into a church and maybe be a part of a ministry and have a visible role, a leadership role. I wouldn't say that's a job, but it's a role you play. I don't really believe in that, condone that. I question that. But just for the sake of the topic, that is something that you do. That's something that guys do. I know, seen it firsthand. You know, preachers of all. Preachers have that stereotype anyway of fucking they fly. That's a real thing. So these are occupations. These are things that because you have to be, and then of course being an entrepreneur, being your own boss. There's nothing more sexy than that. Being the boss, no matter what. If you can say that you're the boss, if you can run, It doesn't matter. You can run a junk. I can't even think of like a specific example. But no matter what type of operation that you have that might seem undesirable, if you can say that you're the boss, that puts you in a whole different category, and women will act accordingly to that. They will respond to that favorably. So the moral of the story is always be looking for the most favorable opportunity that you have. Always be looking to advance your position. And if that's your goal, that's your preoccupation, is to, well, it's every man, not every man, but if you're at that season in life, I'll say every man has that season in life where they just wanna have that companionship, regular companionship. It might be casual companionship, casual hookups. Every man has that season. But you want that season to work to your advantage. You want that season to be the best that it can be. So you want to find the best situations for you. And so these jobs that I mentioned will avail you of those opportunities. So that's all I want to touch on today, real quick. It's your buddy, your pal, your friend, your teacher, your guide, ABW, Uncle Artist, and sayonara, signing out. Ashitaki, bienvenido. All right, peace and blessings.